Okay, welcome back, everybody, to Coffee and Art in the Morning, Monday morning. Thanks, everybody, for being here. So, I have sort of a new project. It's not really new, brand new, but I'm going to try to kind of mix it up and put a little bit more of a twist to it. All right, so y'all know that a few years ago we started. Now, this has been before I uploaded to YouTube. I've only been uploading to YouTube for 2 years, and I've been streaming for six. So this one was probably, I don't know, 4 years ago, maybe. I'm not even sure exactly. But this is a book, and it's just a, let me measure it because everybody always asks, what size is that book? It is 8 by 15. And what it was is just a book in clearance, a book in the clearance section. Bridgeton, good to see you. It was a book in the clearance section of the bookstore. They're new books, but they're in clearance. You can get them for a few dollars, a couple dollars. And this one was on cityscapes. And it was all different. Let me find some that don't have anything on it, like this. It has all kinds of cityscapes. Some are close up, some are far away, like this one. And what I call it reverse collage. Instead of adding things to it, although I do add things to it as well, and I will in the next project I'm getting ready to show you, it's painting out things. You're painting out things that you don't want, and then you can do whatever with what's left. So like here, for instance. And this one I've opened and closed a lot. The paint's kind of cracked in the center. And I also did not, all right, I got to get something here to flash the light back. I also did not matte medium these, which I will be matte medium in the next example. But you can see, there we go. So you're actually painting out things. Like here's a big fountain. So you're painting out the text. You're painting out the background. It's kind of reversing your collage. Then I've added paint and other things too. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to figure out what I got to do with the camera here. The sun just came busting through the window and it's messing me up. So you can see. Sorry guys, it just totally flashed out. But this was a cityscape book. Let me find a more dramatic page. Where's a real, okay, here's one. See how I've blacked out all the text? And then you can do other things here. You can paint on it, write on it, add lettering. You can stamp on it, all kinds of things. So this was one that we did a few years ago. And then I just covered the outside with paint, scraped paint and bits of scrapbook paper. And then I put 2 or 3 coats of varnish on it. So, yeah. So you'll know that when I'm doing my collage in my, here, let me grab one of those. All right, hang on, where'd it go? Not this one, not this one. Where's my reason? Ah, here it is. So you'll know when I'm doing just like regular collage like this, in my, this one being my, one of my Dilutions journals, how I work on here. Now you're starting from a blank page and adding collage bits and paint and all the, you know, collagey bits. So what I'm trying to do though is the same type of thing here, but starting out with a book. So y'all know that I have the Abandoned Places book that Bonnie sent. And, you know, I've been cutting it up and using all different bits of this Abandoned Places book. Well, I liked it so much. I tried to find it at My Books A Million and they didn't have it. Then they finally got some in. So I bought one, another one. All right, let's put this here. So I bought another one to alter. So we're going to call it kind of altered book collaging. So this is an Abandoned Places. So what I want y'all to do if you want to play along with this type of thing is find you a book on clearance, or if you have one in your house that you're not particularly fond of. And if you're a book lover, I'm a book lover. I have a library. I love my books. These are all on clearance. You know, they stack them out 10 or 20 at a time. I'm not sure exactly which landfill they'll go to if you don't buy them and use them, but I'm sure they'll end up somewhere like that. So if you want to, you know, if you got 20 of these sitting in your bookstore and they're selling them for a couple of dollars, I use them. I'll play with them. I'll cut them up. I'll alter them or whatever. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start. I want to continuously work in this book, just like I do the napkin journal, the mixed media collage book I just showed you, the different kinds of journals that we use, the magazine journals. So this is almost kind of like a cross between the magazine journal and the collage journal. So what we are doing is the same type of collage mixed media painting that we do in our Dilutions journals, but we're starting with a base already for us. So we're starting with a base already for us. So for instance, I'm going to show you a page where I haven't done anything to it. Let's see. Okay, let's just start like, let's just say this one. Okay, I'm going to show you some that I worked on this yesterday for a few hours while I was watching Janet's recordings. So what we're going to do is, what I would like you to do, it doesn't have to be an abandoned place. It can be any kind of images you are particularly fond of. And I would suggest, like for instance, if you love gardens, gardening, then I would suggest you finding a book that has lots of flowers and something, a base. You want to find a base theme that you're going to love, because if you don't love it, you're not going to stick with it. Not that you have to do the whole, you know, don't feel pressured on yourself. I never do. I mean, I'll work a little in this book, a little in that book, and, you know, just like my color books, I'll work a little bit in this color book, a little bit in that color book. Doesn't bother me at all. Some people, it bothers them that they have to start at the beginning and go through a whole project. That's fine too. Whatever works for you. Yes, and the local libraries have book sales too. Exactly, and the same thing. But I would recommend finding one that's heavily pictured, heavily has a lot of photography, you know, a lot of imagery, because the more imagery you have to work with, the more your imagination can play with it. Okay, so in the other book that I showed you from a few years ago, I did not matte medium base the pages, but I found, just, you know, trying to think about how to show the book and how we can do some, you know, samples and some demos on it. I found by doing a few different pages in this book that it is best, if you can't afford golden matte medium, you know, if you want to use your, maybe you have some clear matte gesso or your matte Mod Podge. And the reason I'm saying matte is because most of these books have a shine to them. They're shiny, they're glossy pages. Not all of them. And just like, you know, doing the Flow magazine, half of the Flow magazine is matte pages, half the Flow magazine is glossy. So that's going to depend on your book too. But I found that most books that have a lot of heavy photography in them have a gloss to them. So if you don't want half of your page looking matte and half glossy, because I am using matte, it's craft paint, it's matte though, it's not shiny. So if you're going to use that, you're going to either have to wait till you're completely done with your page and have maybe matte paint over a shiny section. And if you want to gloss your whole page, because, you know, that's what I do in these. That's what I do in my collage book, is after I finish them completely, I put a coat of gloss varnish over the whole thing. So it doesn't matter if I've got some matte images, some glossy images, whatever. I gloss the whole thing when I'm completely done, okay? And I may or may not do that in this book, varnish the pages. But I wanted to tell you, though, that when you're starting out, if you have some matte medium, then you can mat everything out. So it'll all be flat. Yeah, okay, and Suzanne said there's matte medium from Daler Rowney, and you can get that in matte or gloss. The only thing I suggest is for you guys, if you are using any other products, I use the golden because I love my golden matte medium. But if you are using other products, nothing wrong with that. But make sure that that's not going to stick your pages together. Okay, make sure whatever varnish, whatever matte medium, whatever gloss, anything that you're using as either a glue or a sealer or a varnish is not going to glue your pages together. I know there's things you can do. You can baby powder them. You can, that wax that Shannon Green uses. There's all kinds of things you can do to prevent your pages from sticking. Way too much trouble for me. Just saying. It's just, I just go with my products that I know are not going to stick my pages together. But golden is not cheap. However, if you buy let me show you what it looks like. Here's a small jar here. If you buy your golden matte medium, like at Michael's, Hobby Lobby has the other brand, Liquitex, I think. Whereas I think Michael's, of course, you know, all art supply stores, and you can buy it online, but it's just called golden matte medium. It's not gel, it's not heavy, it's not light, it's not liquid, it's just called matte medium. Because people go, there's so many golden products, which one is it? It's just called golden matte medium with no other there's no other wordage to it. Okay, and if you use a 40% off coupon or sometimes a 50% off at Michael's, you can get it even cheaper. That was the only way I bought it for a long, long, long time, is with a coupon. And anytime I had a haul video, I'd say, here's my weekly haul video. There was one jar of golden matte medium. So to me, this is my go-to product for gluing, collaging, you know, that I just love my golden matte medium. But just for my collaging, for my mixed media, for my art journals, for my art cards, I just use Americana craft paint. Okay. All right. So, a couple different things about, let me show you some examples. So I have based out, I should say, I've matte medium some pages, and then some I have gone ahead and added some paint to them. So I will show you. So matte medium is used to prep your page. Yes, and to glue. Yes, in this case, Laura, I'm using it to prep the page, to get rid of the shine, of the page. And it's also what I glue all my collage down with in all my books. All the collage, mixed media collage, all the art cards. Let me grab one here. All the art cards you see me do, it's all glue with golden matte medium. And then the varnish that I use, if you want to have it glossy, again, everything glossy, because this is matte paint. So you're going to maybe use like some shiny images. Okay, you're going to use some shiny images, and you're going to use matte paint. So you're going to have some things shiny, some things matte. So this will make everything matte. And then if you like the shiny look at the end, like I showed you on my, let me show again on some of my, let me find one here. Here's one where it's all shiny. Okay, so I've glossed this, is the Delta Ceram Coat Gloss Exterior Interior Varnish. I have found as long as you do not close your book until it's dry, this will not stick your pages together. They do not stick. But that's the varnish I use. And this bottle is about $10. Again, it goes a long, long way. Probably about a size of a quarter on each of these with one squirt of water will cover this whole thing. Or a size of a dime will do one of my little postcards. It goes a long, long way. Use a coupon. Dee Dee, how did you apply the matte medium? The matte, you mean when I do on here, like just a flat area, I just brush it on. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, because I'm gluing as well. I'm also using it for my glue. The matte medium is not just making the page matte, but I'm also using it for the glue. And we're gonna do a demo here from start to finish. But I want to show you some of the pages where we're going to show. I'm going to give you an example. So I've gone through. All right. So for instance, this one you can see it's got a little. The light is making it a little shiny, but it's actually very matte, including the area where the image is. But you can see I have painted out first matte medium to make everything flat. Then I paint out different areas that I want to paint out. This one I use a little gel pen. I'm starting to progress on this one. Now, there's no pages in this book that I'm completely done with. I spent a few hours yesterday prepping this book. It looks a little bit milky when you put it on. I mean, when you pour it out, but it dries perfectly clear. Okay. So the other thing about the matte medium, when you have it on your image, just like when I'm doing my art cards, my collage, my mixed media, because it's coated with the matte medium is why you can blend out your paint so easily. Now, in this book is going to be just a little different, maybe not all pages, but I want to try to do some different things in this book than my just plain old mixed media collage. So let me pull this up again to show you. So let's find one here. Get to a finished page. So on this, you're starting with a blank slate, a blank canvas. There's just a blank, it's just a blank journal that we add collage to, then we add the paint to, then we blend it with, the reason we can blend this so easily, like I can blend it with my finger, I can blend it with a baby wipe, and the paint just blends and flows, and you can do all kinds of things with the paint. It's because it's been coated with matte medium. If you try to put paint over, now again, if it's a slick image and the paint's still wet, you can wipe it pretty quick and get rid of it. But if you're putting any kind of paint over anything that's non-shiny, which in your mixed media collage, you do that as well, it's not going to move. You have painted that bit and it's not going anywhere. So the matte medium is like a base that will help your paints move. I hope I'm explaining this well enough, and I try to explain it every time I do a collage. But the difference we're going to do from this to this book is we're going to use the images already in the book as a focal point or as part of I call it reverse collage, because even though we will be adding things on top of it, we're starting with, whiting out. I say white, I just mean, getting rid of with paint, blacking out, graying out, bluing out. We are reversing the process. Instead of putting a bunch of images on top of a blank page, we're starting with images and reversing it and erasing those out. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to show you, I'm going to flip through here and show you a few pages where I've started, okay? Where I've started some of the pages. And then I'm going to also show you what none of these are finished. This is just the base coat. This is just the initial reversing out of any text. Like there was text over here. I painted over the text and then painted in the extensions here, that kind of thing. And we're going to do that here again in just a minute. Same thing for here. There was text all in here. I painted over it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use this book for. I'm sorry it keeps wanting to flash out. We'll just have to keep working with it. I might have to, let me see if I can turn the light down, because it got really bright outside. There we go, that's a little better. Got really bright outside, so it's flashing it out. So these are some of the pages that I've just started. Okay, now on this one, we did this a couple of weeks ago where I showed you when I was showing the other book. Somebody asked how I did that. Well, and so I kind of did a little bit more on this one where I'm painting the clouds over the top of it. Okay, so we're going to do more. We're going to add little bits of collage to turn these into other worlds. So for instance, I painted out the sky. I painted out any buildings that were here. And then I painted in this and just left this bit right here. You can leave whatever you want, or you can get rid of as much as you want. It's totally up to you, whatever kind of images you have. But then what we're going to do from here is we're going to start building worlds. Okay? We're going to start building our own worlds. Okay? With collage. All right? So it's going to be more of a fussy cutted process rather than in the other book where we're blending a lot of stuff into the background with paint. In this book, what we're going to do is we're going to do more fussy collage. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. I'm trying to explain it. Again, I always tell you I'm not a teacher. I just try to demo what I'm doing. But I'm going to try to show you as many different kinds of things that we can do. I'm just picking up random collage bits that I cut out earlier. So we're just going to play. But I want to continuously showing. Again, this is one we played with a little bit a week or two ago and just did one shooting star in there. But again, the light is making it look shiny a little bit, but it's matte. It's all matted out. I've got rid of all the glossy bits. It's just that the light is wanting to flash it out just a little bit there. Let's see if I can keep it. Okay, this one I didn't let dry. So you can see where I didn't let it dry, the paint. I did about 20, 25 pages maybe yesterday while I was watching Janet. So I got a little in a hurry. Even with my heat gun, let me just take a little bit of brown here. I got a little bit ahead of myself on some pages. You have to let things dry. As long as they're dry, they're not going to stick together. If with the golden matte medium and these acrylic paints, I haven't found it to be a problem. Again, it may depend on your paints, your varnish, Mod Podge. I've never had good luck with Mod Podge in art journals, but it just seems to stick them together. So now let me dry that little bit where I fixed it right there. But I do recommend putting some wax paper between your pages when you're working on them, whether you're putting your coat of matte medium or you're painting up to the edge, because you'll do stuff like that. You'll glue your pages together if you're not careful about it. It doesn't bother me if some paint, gets on the edge or something, but it will stick your pages together if you're not careful, So here's another one. Again, I painted out the background. There were some cities up there because I'm going to do my own. I'm going to do my own thing, right? I'm going to make my own worlds. And I just grabbed this girl because, I just cut her out this morning. I'm not one to put many people in my image, in my collage, but I might do a few. I'm just, I'm going to be playing and experimenting along with you guys while we do this. And trying different things. So this is all painted out here on the side. Okay. So again, paint up here. I painted up. This had 4 images. So what I'm going to try to do in this one is try to incorporate all 4 of these into one world. Kind of like this is the landscape of the world, and then this is like an undercity cave world. So like this is one plane, one dimension, and this is like under the world, that kind of thing. Here, this one just had text completely all over it. So I just painted it out, made my own background to kind of be cohesive with this. But it's just a base coat. See again here, and I think I stuck that, see, I didn't let it dry there. So that'll have to be painted back out again. No big deal. So right here, this is paint, blue paint right here on top. So I'm just going to kind of flip through here. Okay, so I painted out the floor, and then I also painted out this mirror thing, and I painted out this door. Because I know those are going to be, this is going to reflect a world in here, probably outer space or something. And then that's going to reflect that. So I just painted that out. You can paint out a whole window. You can paint out anything. That's why I call it reverse collage. You're painting out things. You can still add on top of it, but we're painting out. You know, I'm just grabbing things here on the side. I mean, here, I got the Alamo, for goodness sake. So again, paint it out. There was text here. Painted that out. But I do recommend getting a book that you are going to enjoy working in for an extended bit of time. Because, see, I painted out all the floor. I painted out the ceiling here, or the wall above here. You can paint out as much as you want. Leave one image, or, you know, whatever you want to do. I like her there. She could be on the piano. I just cut a few images out here, guys, just to play with, just to kind of show you kind of what we're going for here. You see? And then you can also journal. Cut. Now, again, it's a little tricky to journal over paint, over acrylic paint. You can do it with a Posca pen. I would recommend, if you are going to do something like it, let's just say you wanted to do this as part of, like, remember where we were doing the magazine journal and turning it into a quote book? You could do the same thing with this with a quote book. But instead of writing everything, now, pencil, you can write in pencil, you know. Let's just write the word quote here. Color pencil will go right over your acrylic paint, okay? It'll go right over it. But you can also use like your foam stamps. You know, I've got drawers full of foam stamps where you can stamp out like a main word, like, you know, serenity. You could put in serenity right here. And then you could add tip-ins. You can add tip-ins with little cards or little things where you want to put quotes with about serenity. Or whatever. I'm just trying to give you an idea. Get your imagination going, okay? So here's one that's nothing's been done. See how shiny that is? There's no matte medium on that. The other thing that I recommend, and then this one's got a little bit more paint to it. But again, it's got, you know, it's got a coat of matte medium. But let's see if you can tell the difference. See the shine here? See the shine with no matte medium, and here's with matte medium. And I know it's wanting to flash out, guys, but I think you can see the difference. Okay. Thanks, Sherry, found on Abandoned Places on Amazon. Okay, so then here's nothing's been done. The other thing that I tell you all I recommend to you, let me put it over here where it's going to not flash out. The other thing I recommend to you is doing some in the front, some in the back, some in the middle. Go back and forth and back and forth. And here's why. Let me get that magazine journal. So here's a magazine journal that has two magazines in it. Two magazines in this one. And you can see, even though it's starting to warp a little bit, by working front to back to front, some in the middle, some in the front, some in the back, it's still fairly flat. Whereas before I knew to do that, this is how I work from front to back. Let me take this out here. Something in my way. So before I started working front to back, I just worked, back and forth. Look, this is what happens if you work front to back. By the time you get to the back, see how bent that spine is? See, there's no getting that flat again. So if you don't want this to happen in your book, where it starts warping your spine. If you don't want that to happen, then you need to work, move stuff out of my way before I trip over it. You need to work back to front, which is what I've done here. So I've done some in the front, and then I went to the back and started working in the back. So here's one where I've done a little bit further because I wanted to show you some different stages of things. So here's one where I've painted out the sky, painted out some buildings, added some little people figures just for some reference. I added a collage bit. This is paint, 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 and then I started doing some of my you know, my style, if you will. Okay? Just so you can kind of see where we're going with it. And then I used gel pen or a Posca, I don't remember which Posca, I think, around these windows. So you can start playing with different elements within the structure. Okay, so this one's just got a coat of matte medium. I haven't done anything to that other than coat it. Here's one where I've got matte medium, and then I painted out the sky. There were some towers here. There were some skyline wires. Anything you don't want, you can paint out. I didn't like the way this mountain looked, so I made it my own mountain. Painted around the cable car. This is paint, all kinds of things going on in here. And it's just a start, but it kind of shows you where we're going. Okay, here's another one where I painted out all around the edges. Again, guys, sorry, it keeps wanting to flash out, but here you can see. Painted out this. Painted all around. There might have been some words there. I don't remember. Same for this one. It's got the matte medium, and then I started doing some strips here of paint. Not sure where it's heading, but this is just some of the starts that I got. Okay, here's one where it had a train, and then it had some other trains over here, and some train tracks, and some other things over here that I didn't want. I painted them out. I just left the main train. I painted the sky. I painted the mountains. I painted the moon in. So you see how you can do whatever you want. This had some kind of a reflective light on it. I painted it black because in here I'll probably do a star scene. So I'm just going to do this real quick just to kind of give you an idea. Okay. Grab a couple colors here. Let me sharpen this pencil. So a few of them I've carried it just a little further. Okay, I've carried it just a little further just to kind of show you like the direction that we're heading in. It's kind of the same thing that we do in the mixed media collage or the art cards, the postcards, the art journals, except we are using something that's already there and then continuing on. And because this is acrylic paint, just like we do the washes in the color book, the acrylic paint just gives you a nice tooth. There's no way you can put a color pencil over the shiny magazine image. You know what I mean, Vern? If this was a shiny magazine, you can't use color pencil on the glossy magazine. It just doesn't work, right? But because you have your paint on there or your matte medium, you can go right over any of this with color pencil. So not only are you able to reverse collage and paint, you also can use your color pencil or anything else. You can add color book page imagery into your book, just like you would anything else. Okay, but see? So I hope y'all get the idea here. Okay? So there we go. Just to give you an example. Again, you can add as many things as you want. I mean, we can, we can continuously add anything we want. I'm just grabbing things here just to kind of, show you. You can make, planet in front of them. There's an eclipse. You could have an eclipse. You can do, you can do it. I just pulled some random images I cut this morning just to, kind of, you can have a hot air balloon and then, basket and whatever coming down here. You can have the hot air balloon. Let me find a tinier little bit of, let me cut out here with my scissors. Where did I sit here? You could have the hot air balloon. Here we go. No, I want it a little bigger than that one. Let's see. Holding up a planet with some strings. So, yeah. I mean, the whole idea of all this is to make some worlds. All right, so in the shortest time I've seen watching streams, I've learned so much from all of us. I know, right? Again, I painted all the any words out here. The railroad tracks ended right there, so I just extended that out. Again, paint out. This has nothing done to it. This I've just put the matte medium on, and I've done nothing else to it. But I mean, you just got to, you can put the Alamo in here, for goodness sake. I'm just trying to pick out some images that I, cut out before the show started, just to play with here. What else did I cut out here? Got a lot of marbles. I lost all my marbles. Here we go. Some flowers. Let me stack up my marbles because I got more marbles here than anything. Try to make some space. Okay, so let's see, what else did I pick out here? Oh, okay. Here's a bird. You see? One bird on there makes you a whole story. There's an abandoned places. Oh, there is an abandoned places coloring book. Don't get me started. Okay, so here's a door. What else do I have here? Half moon. We could cut this. Let's cut this down. I mean, look. I mean, just think, guys. I mean, this just makes me so happy. Doesn't it excite you to do this kind of stuff? Okay, so let's keep going. I have one a little further along in here. All right, this one was like, it looked like an abandoned gas station that was torn down. Now I need another coat of white paint, but this was just the roof over the part where you get your gas. And all the gas station, everything was gone except this roof. Okay, but let me just see if I can do it with a pencil real quick. Look at this. It's almost like 2001, A Space Odyssey floating there. Look. See? I mean, I'm sorry. This just, I love this kind of thing. This is not anything done to it. Okay, here's where another thing that I went overboard on this one, just to show you. Okay, so I painted everything out. I painted everything out but the ship. Then I started making these waves, and I said, well, what if I turn those waves into feathers? So I took my Posca pen and started drawing in feathers. I put a moon over here over the horizon. Could be a big moon up there on the horizon. It could be a watch part. Here, let me cut one of these out. So there's less paint blending in this technique than there is in the mixed media collage with a lot of paint blending. See, I'm still doing paint blending, but I'm also doing, let's see, which way do I want this to go? I got this. But I'm also doing, collaging. Any questions? So you see kind of all the different things you can do. I mean, if you want to add people in your landscape. Of course, I'd probably put this here and then her red head there, something like this. This makes me want to sit and cut. See? Exactly, Packer Die. Packer Die, she's a collage queen. This one, she said it makes her want to sit out and cut out oodles of collage mounds to play with. Exactly. And all you have to do is have a book that you really like and reverse out things. Just paint anything out you don't want. Okay, this one doesn't have anything done to it, nor this one. There's one in here. Okay, so then I start skipping to the middle. Because remember what I said, some front, back, middle, if you don't want your spine to warp. Okay, this one is, but here's one with an example of where I'd paint the whole thing out. First I'd matte medium the whole thing, and then I'd paint this all out to match the sky. Or paint my own sky. Okay. So you can see there's one other one here in the middle that I worked extensively on. Where is it? Here. Okay, so this one, let me tell you what before I show you this. This one had these men standing on this abandoned building looking from floor to floor to floor. Well, I got rid of all that. Now they're standing and looking down at a universe. So all this is paint and pencil. This is all paint and pencil. So what I did is I just got rid of everything they were looking at and put in my own worlds that they're staring down at. But they're all looking down. Look, it was just perfect. They were all looking down. So I put in my own worlds, and then I blacked out the insides of these windows and put little dimensions in there as well. So yeah, I had so much fun doing this one. I didn't want to stop. So yeah, I know, right? Isn't it fun? So you can do this with anything. If you like gardens and plants and little greenhouses and little gazebos with lots of flowers and plants, well, just think of how much fun you could have making your own secret garden book. You can make your own secret garden book with all your little things going on in your secret garden world. If you like pets or dogs or cats, if you like travel, get you a book it can be a magazine too, a book or a magazine on travel. I like the book because it's just sturdier, it's just an extra sturdiness, but you can do the same thing with magazines. Okay, I think that's all I have officially worked on in here. So like this one, we did at Halloween where we kind of painted in some like wispiness and kind of creepiness, Let's see, where's my girl? Where's my little girl here? I mean, there's just so much you can do. So, any questions? Let me take a sip of coffee real quick. My throat's getting a little dry. You're attacking your stamp hoard sometime soon. Keep only one I love. Yeah, I got rid of a whole bunch of my stamps, Packer Die. Maybe a year ago, I did a big giveaway and was giving away lots of stamps. I have also, except for, I have a few on the wall, but most of my wood stamps, I put in the microwave for 10 seconds to released the glue, and I demounted almost all my wood stamps. I literally had two big grocery bags, you know, the brown paper bags, two big brown grocery bags full of the wood mounts that I took off my stamps. Then I gave away most of my stamps. Now I still have a whole tower drawer full of foam stamps, like the foam. Let's go back over here to where I wrote the word quote. I'm not necessarily going to use this book for quotes. Now I don't know if I can erase this. I might have to paint over it, but I think it'll erase enough where I can. It should erase enough where you can still see it, but it's okay. I want to show you what I mean. Let me get one of my drawers of stamps. So let's just say you're not really into a whole bunch of collaging. You're not going to take your book and do a lot of, you're not going to do a lot of collage or something. You just like the images. You like painting things out. So what are you going to do with it? Well, I'll show you. So just like we talked about making a magazine quote kind of journal, well, in the same way, so here's one of my drawers of stamps. I like my stamps not to match, as you can see. Now I've got 10 drawers of these. Well, yeah, there's 10 drawers in that tower. These little towers with these Michaels, like I have one for collage stuff. This one is I have a whole tower of stamp stuff. So like, for instance, let's just take this one for an example. Now, you can always write in here with your Posca pen or your paint. You don't have to stamp, but I want to do a little bit of a, demo here. So we can have some ideas. So let's just say I wanted the word quote here. There's a T, so I'm just going to dig through. Here's an O. I like them all different. It just makes me happy to have different styles of stamps mixed up. It does take a minute to dig through, but if I'm not on camera and I'm digging through, it's relaxing to me. I can dig through here and take my time. Here's an E. I can take my time. I feel a little bit more pressure when I'm on camera to kind of hurry up and find what I'm looking for. Here's a U, Q-U-O-T-E. So I just need a Q. There's one right there. That's kind of little. I would rather have a bigger Q. So, or I could even just use this O and put my own little tail in it. So this is relaxing to me to dig through like this. But again, it's not, I'll turn that O into a Q. When I feel like a little bit more pressure, oh wait, I think I want an S too. Quotes. Yeah, there's an S. Okay. So you can do a couple different things. Let's just go ahead and do it in white so it shows up. But you could also do it in, Packer Die. Bye, Packer Die. Go cut. I know Packer Die just wants to go grab some scissors. Trust me, I know her. She's going to go grab some scissors while she picks up the kids. Well, she won't be driving and cutting. Let's put it that. She'll be in the parking lot waiting to pick them up cutting. So anyway, I could do this in white, Q-U-O-T-E-S, or I could do it in black and outline it in white. That might look really cool. Or I could do it in a color. I could do it in a color that matches in here. I think I'm going to just go ahead and do it in white. Maybe outline it in black or put another line around it in white. I don't know. So let's go ahead and just do white though for now, just to kind of, because I just want to show you, the idea. My enthusiasm. I do get excited. I can't help it, guys. All right, that's off-white. I don't want off-white. Where's my white? I do get excited about my, projects. I do. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I get excited about projects and sharing. See, for me, guys, it's not that I'm trying to teach you something or teach you a lesson on something. Although sometimes, like I'm doing my color pencil portraits, I'm more meticulous about explaining step by step, especially if you followed along with a grid or something with me. but I'm excited about the ideas. Ideas excite me. That's why I've got tons of idea notebooks. I got one, two, three. I got 4 idea notebooks on the working in them at this moment on a separate table across the room under Mona Lisa that Jean gave me. Under my Mona, I have 4 notebooks open at all times to work in. They're all different things. Yes, I'm a professional encourager. Thank you, Gary. That's why I do like to call myself an encourager because I do like to encourage you to start things, try things, write down your ideas. That for me is what it's all about. If you get some tech tips and techniques and some paint combinations and other things out of it, all the better. But for me, it's all about the ideas. All right, speaking of, all right, so let's go ahead and get what I use when I use foam stamps and paint. I squeezed out some white paint here, are makeup wedges, okay? Makeup wedges, dry. Do not use a wet makeup wedge or you'll just get a bunch of splots. There's a use for that too. Splots are good. But if you want pretty crisp and pretty clear lettering or any image with paint and you use a makeup wedge, make sure it is dry. Hey, Azure Muse. Okay, so after I do this, we're going to do a giveaway. Okay, so again, I'll just draw my own little Q tail right there. So I just stamp out and kind of pat out so it's not like overly, you don't want it splotty, right? So I'm just going to tap out my lettering and you can kind of see how neatly or how well it's coated. And if you don't get it as nice as you like, you can always go back in there and paint in, right? Okay. So I'm going to kind of just go down this little thing here. So that's going to be my Q. Okay. Which I'm going to add my own little tail to. And before I start, after I stamp all these out, I'm going to run and rinse these off. You don't want to leave acrylic paint on your foam stamps because that will crust them up. And, you really don't want to leave any paint on these. Q, U. And I'm not a stamper. Ask Rach, 0113. She's the stamper. See, that one didn't come out very dark. It's because of this rubber. It's like a rubber kind of stamp rather than foam. I'll just go over it with my Posca. Okay. Or paint it in with the paintbrush. And I like doing them when they're all different. Another advantage of doing things when they're not all the same is that they can be a little messy. You don't have to worry about them lining up or being perfect because what did Marilyn say? Woke up 5:30 with no alarm. Oh, Marilyn. My husband's my alarm. He gets up at 4:30 every day to go jog or work out, unless it's inclement weather. But he even on days off, vacation, doesn't matter. He has his own internal alarm clock. He wakes up 4:30. Okay. So there's an S. Okay. So real quick, I'm going to go, it'll just take me a second, guys. I'm just going to go rinse the paint off of these because you don't want to leave paint on your foam stamps. It will ruin them. So 1 second. 1 moment, please. Okay. So I'll fill those back in the box. Now, I rinsed out my sponge. Now, it's damp, so you would not want to use this for another, you want dry makeup wedges. That's why I buy them in packs. So you have plenty if you need a bunch of them. All right, so now let me go ahead and dry this. And now you can either do multiple things you can do. You can take your white pencil and go over it. You can just paint it in with a brush. You can use a white gel pen. You can use I'm going to use a Posca because it's kind of big, so it's quicker, and just paint it in. Fix this O. That didn't stamp very well. But again, you can use paint or your pencil or whatever. Then you can do other things like, let's just say it didn't stamp real neat. And this is, I will use this quite often. But you can take, now I got to tilt it so I can get up here. But you can just kind of funkify, yes, that's a word, make it funky and just kind of sketchy on purpose. So if you're not a neat stamper like I'm not, just come in there and add your own like squiggly lines. And you can do this even if you do hand lettering and you hand letter out your word quote or whatever. You can get in here and just do sketchy kind of around it. I'll keep it. This one's almost empty. I need to order me some more. And do it messy on purpose. See? And sorry guys, it does want to flash out a little bit, but I think you get the idea. Okay, you can do all kinds of things, like let's just say I want to put a planet out that window. But let's just say you're going to use it for quotes. Then this is another way to use your, let me find a good color here. This is a good way to use your Project Life cards. You can attach just, tip-ins. This could be sitting on top of the piano. This could be up here. You can put quotes. You could cut this down, like you could have it like, let's just do this. You can see. You could have part of it showing behind the piano like that. So it's just use your stuff. Use your stuff. Again, here's some of my leftover little bits of scrapbook stuff that we used in the magazine journal demo the other day. Where's my girl? She could sit here. There's some doilies. I mean, there's just so much stuff you can do, with all your bits. So it doesn't just have to be my kind of collage where I do the, outer space scenes and all that. You don't have to do that. You can do all kinds of things. Again, you could put your, little quotes. Here's some, there's a star. I mean, you can layer it up, put your quotes on there. This could be a picture of you. So anyway, I just want to kind of give y'all some more examples of different things you can do. You like the lady? I'm liking her in this chair too. So I'm just playing, guys. I'm just, this is all improv here as we play, You could go around this with black, make it stand out, or dark brown, or the orange. Go in there with, where's my orange? I don't know if this is going to be bright enough, but okay, so we can go and use your lettering skills and your lettering books and, use everything. The point of this, what I'm trying to show you in this book is, you can make it your own, but you're reversing out things and making it your own. Let me move this so you can lift this up. See, I'm going around with the orange there. And because this has got either paint and or matte medium on it, it's not a shiny surface because we've matte mediumed out the shine, is how you can use your color pencils. You're able to use your color pencils on top of this because the shine is gone. Any questions? Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. I think I will probably end up using her on this chair. I like her on this chair. Okay, so a couple things. So now let's say you do want to start gluing some things down. Again, a couple things are going to matter. Are you going to want, if you're going to end up putting a gloss varnish over the whole thing, which I haven't decided whether I'm going to varnish these or not. If you want to glue her down with matte medium, she will be matte. Okay, so, or if you just want to glue her down quickly and not worry about it, you're going to varnish everything, or you don't care if she's shiny and everything else is not shiny, then I would just use some Eileen's tacky glue, smear it on the back there and plop her down. But because we're talking about getting rid of all the shine, I'm going to go ahead and use the matte medium just to show you. Okay, so I put my golden matte medium in a dish soap bottle, Sunset Carol's idea. So you can squeeze out how much you want, okay? It just makes it a lot easier than trying to pour out and clean off the rim of your jar. Make sure, because that's why I put a baggie on it. If you have any excess matte medium on the rim, you put your lid on, you're going to have a heck of a time ever getting that back off again. So I always put a baggie on mine. So if you have it in something like this, every now and then this crusts up and you got to kind of peel out some of those layers. But this is much easier, trust me, to use if you're using a lot than it is to try to pour it out of your jar. Okay. All right. And the same thing for my glue brushes. My glue brushes are the only brushes that stay in water. And that's so they stay soft. Okay. They stay soft when they stay in water. But they're old, crusty, rusty, grungy brushes. They're like when my good brushes go bad, they go to the glue. Okay. So, I'm going to put some on the back of her. And I always put it on the image too. Okay, and then also over the top. Let's get her nice and centered here. Let's see, I want her down here a little bit more. But I want her in the chair. There we go. Okay, and then after I put it on the top, then I'll take a card. This one's got some leftover matte medium on it. Take a card and smooth her down. Okay, that's all there is to it. And now she won't be shiny. She'll, blend in with the rest. Again, if you know you're going to eventually gloss your page, or, whether maybe you're just doing a page, maybe you're not doing a whole book, then if you know that you're going to put gloss over that, it doesn't really matter. But if you just might leave it as is and you want it all matte, then the matte medium will make it all matte. All right, let me hit that with the heat gun and dry it. Put wingnut quotes in there, yeah. Well, the only problem with wingnut quotes is nobody gets it except it literally is one of those things you had to be there. If you weren't there, then it doesn't make any sense. Remember when Denise, my daughter, oh, speaking of, she and Cam and Boo are coming sometime during the week of Thanksgiving through Thanksgiving. So hopefully we'll be able to do some shows while she is here. Maybe me and Boo can do a craft show. Maybe I can get Cam to draw for you. We'll see. So anyway, but they are coming that week. She has the week off from work. And so I'd love for to get her down here like next weekend and have her for a full like 8, 9, 10 days. That's probably not going to happen. She probably won't come down here like Tuesday. But I'd love for her to get down here as soon as we can. We might do some Black Friday shopping. I don't know. It's just going to be nice to have them here for the whole week. So I'll try to squeeze them in. Because you all know Denise is a hoot. My daughter Denise is a hilarious. She's so much fun. And yeah, she'll probably make me clean something too. All right, so there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and stop on this page. I'm going to go on to another one. I'm going to show you some little different things you can do. Like I said, I just have a whole bunch. I cut out a whole bunch of collage stuff here before I hit record this morning, just to kind of move things around and give you different ideas. But we're going to do some giveaways. So let me move this out of the sign here. All right, so I'm going to give away, if my mods are up for it. If the mods are up for herding cats, let me make a space here, out of room. If the mods are up for herding cats, I'm going to do 3 giveaways today. Thanks to Sharon L., who sent some money and extra stamps for the hubster. We're going to give away 2 of these that I have ready, and I've already put some of her Post-it notes in here, if y'all missed the Post-it note show. And then at the end of the day, in about an hour, if y'all didn't know, Janet, we trigger-headed her into, asked her, convinced her politely to stream Mondays at 1. And Janet is Monkey Island Madness on Ustream, and she does upload to YouTube after the fact, just like I do. So she's going to start streaming every Monday at 1. So y'all be thinking of some ideas to give her, because she's kind of worried that she's going to run out of ideas. I've been doing this for 6 years. Very rarely have I ran out of something to do, even if it's just watching paint dry. We'll do that too. So anyway, so I'm going to give away these 2 packs of cards. If y'all remember, I went through some of my Happy Mail a week or 2 ago and made up a whole bunch of packs. And this is a Linda White Holloway Christmas card and some just different things. And so I'm going to give away these. And then at the end of the day, at the end of another hour and a half or whatever, I'm going to give away the brand new Somerset Studio. This is the new issue. It's the November-December issue. Nothing's been cut out of it. Nothing's been painted over. I haven't cut anything out. Not even there's the inserted cards. It's pristine. Including, look, the Tim Holtz that was in the coloring studio. Copy of that's in here on cardstock. So we're going to give away this later. Right now, we're going to give away these 2. Okay, so because y'all know, I love me some giveaways. Love me some giveaways. Let me find my random.org. So this is how it works on my giveaways. When I type in the word go, put in 1 number only. The closest without going over. Well, the 2 closest in this case. The 2 people closest without going over will get 1 of these each. All right, let me get a random. And I will be doing some more giveaways for the YouTubers. And, yeah. I'm not ignoring you guys over on YouTube. I have plans for you. I have plans for you. I have plans for you. All right, let me find, let me go, come on, let's find random.org again, hang on. Random, oops, okay, it's not, okay, let me spell it right. Random.org. All right, so I got my random.org. I'm going to expand our little generating box. Okay, now I'm not going to put in a number. I mean, I'm not going to hit generate yet till everybody puts in their numbers. So again, one number only. The two closest without going over will get 1 and 2. Let me get some post-it notes. I know there's a lag, so when you see numbers flying by, you know it's time to put one in. Okay, there it goes. Bam! As soon as I type in go, it's bam! Okay, I'll give you plenty of time. Put your number in. Don't dilly-dally, though. Don't dilly-dally. So it's 1 to 100, like it always is. Closest without going over. Terry. Terry goes, don't send me any Happy Mail. I can't take it. Well, that's why I can't stand that all my wonderful Happy Mail sits in a box for 6 years, some of it, you know. I give away a lot, but, you know, I can't give away thousands a month. So it stacks up. But it's awesome stuff, guys. It's awesome. It's just, you know, I only can do a little at a time. One number only. That's right. Thank you, Vicki. And then I'll give y'all a second. Yours sits in a box. Yeah, see, that's what mine does too, Sherry. That's why I'm doing this. This all November. I'm trying to give away packs of these every show. You know. And since Sharon generously sent us some extra money and postage, I'm able to give away a little more. So thank you, Sharon. Yeah. I mean, at first I've said, oh my gosh, people are going to think I don't like their Happy Mail. They're going to think I don't like their art. It's not that at all. I want to share it because it's sitting in a box. I mean, I might look through it every year or something, but you know, I don't have a place to display it. You know, so I'd rather somebody love it, right? Somebody love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and stop. Okay, so everybody stop with the numbers. Now we're going to generate, and I know there's a lag, but you know, it all works out somehow. Okay, so here we go. We're going to generate. Ready? 77. The two people closest to 77. The two people closest to 77. And my mods are going to go search it out. That's why they get paid the big bucks. The two people closest to 77. Okay, guys, it wants to flash out. Let's see. Let's get it back here. There we go. The two people closest to 77. How can we send stamps? Yeah, you can't. If you're in Australia, or you can, I understand, guys. That's why it doesn't matter to me. If you're international, you still get to participate, even though you can't send stamps. You know, I understand that. Now, if you ever want to PayPal me something, that's fine. I'll take it. I'll take money to help pay. you know. Okay, so we have Pepper Kitty Cat is one. Pepper Kitty Cat had right on 77. Gotcha. It's without going over. You can't go over. So who was the next one that did not go over? It's the closest without going over. Terry Abrams was 77. Terry Abrams. Okay, I think I'm pretty sure I have yours, Terry. Pepper Cat, Kitty Cat, do I have your address? Okay, there we go. So Pepper Kitty Cat and Terry Abrams are the two closest to 77 without going over. Carrie, will you put in my email? Y'all, you need to make sure, guys, that I have your email. And if you move, hey CB, if you move, or CB, if you move, I need to know your new address. Okay, so, yeah. All right. Does everybody do I have you guys? I think I have Terry A's address. I don't know if I have Pepper Kitty Cat, but if you both will email me your address, please email me your address so make sure I have it. Okay. And then again, at the end of the show, we're going to give away the Somerset Studio November-December issue. Okay. Pepper Kitty Cat and Terry Abrams, both of you, look at Carrie's going to put in my email. Y'all grab it, okay? Terry Trouble just put it in. Yeah. Email me your address. Okay, let's get back to work for a few minutes. Let's get back to work. Where's my book? Okay, so, all righty. So again, we're working in this abandoned places, doing like reverse collage. Let me see if I can tilt this down just a little to get out of that glare. In the abandoned places book, turning it into like a reverse collage, mixed media type of book. So we have started on some pages here, here. I'm just going to do a quick flip with the pages. This is one where I just showed you if you want to use it for a quote book, you can do tip-ins and turn it into like kind of an art journal, or a quote journal or whatever you want. The only difference between this and say my mixed media collage journal is in that one I'm starting with a blank page. In this book, in a altered book, you're starting with something, right? You're starting with something to work with and reversing out. See, like right here, I did the train here a minute ago, kind of showing you how we did that with the train. And again, you want to work back and front to back, middle, so that your spine doesn't warp. Where's the train? I should put some tabs on these so I can find them for you quicker, because it's toward the back, I think. Here it is. So here, a little while ago, we turned the front of this train. Now, you can take this as far as you want it to be. You can make whole worlds here. It doesn't have to just be this simple, although there's nothing wrong with that. But you can, add all kinds of, add all kinds of your own imagery to do whatever you want. You know what I mean, Vern? I kind of like her there. It's just like an angel out of a, off of a statue, off of a marble wall. And I just cut her out, but look. So you see? All right, so what I was going to show you here is I wanted this mirror to reflect what was going on in here. So again, let's see if I can find let me see if I can find all my marbles. Got a blue one here. That's too dark. There's a turquoise bit. Okay, here's one. Here's a little bit of a... So this kind of collage is a little bit more fussy because you're putting collage on top of something rather than trying to blend it in with paint. So, could even make it a little smaller. Okay. Again, you can, I've got my matte medium right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down. And the reason I'm using the matte medium is it takes the shine away. Okay, takes the shine away. Whoops, gotta be a little more gentle there. To get here's one. Baby wipe. So if y'all have any questions, you like her on there? I might put that angel by the train. Eileen said, I like that there. Okay, so now I can go in here. Again, because this is painted and has matte medium on it, you can use your color pencils. Just like when you put your paint in your color book with a wash, and you can use your color pencils over it, the same thing. Let me get a turquoise here. Hi, DRD. We're doing a whole new reverse collage project. So you'll have to watch it from the beginning, really, to tell you the truth. So maybe it's even coming out of this dimension into this one. I'll hold it up. I know I'm a little far away, but I'm trying to keep it so you can see all the book. And if I get too zoomed in, you won't be able to see. So I'm just going to do a little, I call it nebulization. Making some little nebulas in my little space scenes. And again, you do what you like, you know. Yes, instead of just, we are actually collaging some things on, but more than anything, we're painting things out, okay? We're painting things out. So maybe a little bit of this color turquoise and another, maybe a little lighter, this lighter green color turquoise. Like I said, if you are into gardening, travel, a travel book would be awesome to do this too. You have, you know, old, and you know, you can get tons of old traveling type books in your library sales or in just your dollar clearance sections of your bookstores. Travel books are awesome to do this kind of thing because there's so many, you know, countries and buildings and scenery. You can do your, you know, animals. You can do anything. Anything. I would just, like I said, the only thing I would recommend is getting highly, a lot of pictures. A lot of pictures. Because that makes it, you know, there's more things for you to reverse out. Okay, so let me hold this up. And you can continue on. And you don't have to do it all in one quick setting, like we're just kind of skipping from page to page. You can spend weeks. You can spend weeks on one page, turning this whole thing into a whole nother world. Or a garden, if you have a garden book with, you know, gazebos and hanging gardens and vines, you know, you could spend weeks redoing one of those sceneries, you know? Maybe there's some reflection here. And we could do that with some paint or pencil. Let me see, where's my white? Did I pull out some white paint earlier? Yeah, here. I'm going to dip my finger in the white paint here. See? There's just so much you can do. Any questions? Weeks, months, or years? Yes, you could, especially if you do a whole big book like this one. I mean, look, there's, 100 pages if whatever in here. Let's see. I think I'll come over here with some black. And maybe, let me get a smaller brush. Do I have one handy? I gotta dig one out here. Ah, here's one. Like the mirror. I know, right? See, there's just so much you can do. Let's just say we're going to block out one window here. Maybe two. My brush is a little furry. Let me get another one. And you could do this with your pencils or your markers or just, just remember you're going over acrylic paint. So you don't want to do like your Copics or something you're going to ruin. All right, I want to get real close up to that, and that brush is too big. So let me dry this. Now I'll get in there with close up with my pencil there, right up along the edge. Nice and sharp. Thanks everybody for stopping in. If I miss saying hello to you, appreciate your coming in and hanging out, getting some ideas, because that's what we're about, the ideas. Okay, so now I do want to make this as kind of another reflection of space over here. Another little planet or something going on there. A little bit of space stuff going on there. And you can continue this theme like all the way around the room. You could have something going on over here. The parts of it, like here, let's see. Here's where I cut out a watch. Here's where I cut out a watch a little while ago. Now I would trim it up a little neater if I was going to actually use it on here. But you can use, see how that kind of balances that out? Put that over here. Okay, so Dorothy's getting something sent to her from Amazon. I missed what she's getting sent. We all get excited when we get something from Amazon. Okay, so let's see. Let's try to just trim this up just a little. And you can just paint this. I mean, you don't have to necessarily. It's just fun. It's just fun to do bits of collage, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Kind of get the general idea of where it's going to be. You like it? Like the page? You love this idea. It's like an art journal without having to break a blank page. Exactly, DRD. Exactly. It's exactly what it is. You don't have to think up the background. All right. But again, I'm using the Abandoned Places book. Use a book that you are going to enjoy, whether it's gardening, travel, a specific city, whatever it is that you're going to enjoy, because, if you really want to work in it for any length of time, you're going to have to like what it's about, right? If you don't like gardening and you got a garden book, you're only going to work probably a page or two. And again, because I've coated the whole thing with golden matte medium, It's why I can go over any area I want with my pencils. If you're going to work on a shiny, glossy book, pencils are not going to go on that. Okay? They're not going to go over a shiny gloss bit. You need it coated. Even if you're using a Mod Podge, whatever. I don't like Mod Podge because it has a tendency, I have found, to stick your pages together. So I just like my golden matte medium. I've never had any problem as long as you let everything dry. You know, you saw up here on a couple of edges where I got, I didn't let it dry and they stuck. But as long as you let it dry, it's great. Okay, so Iffy is Happy National Live Creative Day. Wow, we just fit right in, didn't we? Uh, you just decided to give up on art. Well, you don't need to give up on art journaling. You just need some new ideas. All right, so I'm going to I think I'm going to take some pencil and almost make this like a little portal here. Just add some more of my own. A little bit here. And you can add colors and whatever, Again, sometimes I have a tendency to hurry a little bit on the show so we can get a lot more stuff, done. But you don't have to hurry when you're doing it, by yourself. All right, so again, here maybe I'll use let's get a bit of a planet. Let's get a marble here. Let me find a marble. This one's too green. It's got the same, it's too green. Let's go with a little bit more turquoise here. Okay, so I got this marble here. It's a little big, so I can just turn it down a little smaller because I want this one to be inside here. So again, I'm just gonna, let's see, where do I want it? Do I want it probably right there? The matte medium takes the shine off. Oh yeah, if y'all didn't miss this is the book I'm working, The Abandoned Places. And if you don't like altering books, it freaks you out, don't email me. Trust me, there's like a stack of 10 of these at my bookstore. Where do you think they're going to go if we don't buy them? Okay, so now back with, going to round this out a little here with a gel pen. Make my little portal just a little bit sharper because I didn't cut it out that neatly. And I'm going to put some more stars and nebulization in here. And I'm using the same colors, the orange and the teals, just to kind of make them all kind of like, compositionally jump around cohesively. And this is just stuff I like. But if you don't like, sci-fi or spacey stuff, then, do your gardens or travel or anything, any book. They're in clearance sections or library sales, right? I remember years ago, well, it hasn't been that many years, but, quite a few years, altered books were a big thing. People were altering them, making them into, all kinds of journals. I probably have some books around here on them. The old books, altering books. Next time you pick one up for y'all, pick it up and then visit. Okay. I haven't looked for it. I guess I probably still have them, Suzanne. I'll look. So kind of see where I'm going here. Yeah, when I got this one was it about a month ago? They had like 10 of them. Hang on, let me tell Hupster I'm still streaming. Hey, honey, I'm still streaming. What's up? Okay, thank you. Love you too. Bye. He's just telling me his route. He has to do some driving today, go to different places, and he wanted to let me know he mailed my things for me. I sent out a bunch of happy mail. And he just wanted to let me know it got mailed. Such a good postman. I plan on doing this project and found a book with awesome cover. See, there you go. There you go, New York Crafter. Okay, so we have a couple little areas here. All right. And see, I just put a swash of paint, like it's like reflecting in there. And we can just keep going. Keep going. Oops, I tore that. Didn't let it quite dry right there. Gotta let things dry. Where's my brush? Let's get a little bit of white paint. But you can use all your same mixed media stuff that you use in any art journal. But you just have a background already started for you. You have something to play on top of without having to think up something. You don't have to think up something, you know? All right, let me dry this. Getting stressed with the blank page, yeah. Well, I'm going to flip through it again here and I'll show you what we've got started. And again, if you can get, I don't want to say bored, but you can get, it can get tedious sometimes doing one thing over and over. That's why you see me jumping from color book to color book. I'm not bored with coloring, but sometimes if you're coloring, the same thing over and over, you want to just move on for a while. So it never bothers me to move from thing to thing. I'm curious, what is the blue and silver thing in the picture? This is some kind of machinery in the abandoned place. I'm not sure. But it looks spacey, right? It just looks so, just so much things you can do with it. I'm not going to do it on this one. I don't want to contrast it that much. But yeah, you could put another little, whatever. I'm trying to see what else I've cut out here. I just pulled a few things this morning before I hit record. And if you never know what to do, you can always just put a bird on it. Anyway, so yeah, some kind of machinery. That would be a good one instead of, because I don't have a watch on here, I could, do some my watch hands coming off of that. I don't know. I'm playing with it as we go too, Yes, it's all abandonment. So let me just flip the pages again to show you, because I know some people are just coming in. Okay, just show you some of where I've got going so far. This was all text, so I just covered the whole thing. But you can go in here and do all kinds of, like I could take blue with a palette knife and smear that in there and blend that out. I could turn this into anything. So, but I've got something to go with. Put a bird on it. It doesn't take much to do. It doesn't take much to make something. I'm telling you. Draw a wire, or right there where this line is, draw a line coming across there. And there he is. He's sitting on there. Okay, so let's just do a flip here. This has got some paint here. I painted out the words. But there's just, so much, guys. Where's that other? I mean, one element. These could be stars and dimensions, which I like to do, but you may want to do gardens. You know, put some little greenery in there. It can be, you know. But if you have a whole bunch of cut out images to play with, then you can be moving things around and, you know, playing with different things, playing with different elements. But just look how one thing can change whatever it is. Sorry guys, wanting to flash out again. Let's see if I can. Here we go. The bird wants to sit on the rail. Okay, so this one had 4 small pictures. So I'll probably do like this is an upper dimension, a lower dimension, or you know, oh, you can do so much. I'm just throwing some things out there just so you can see. I like the space theme. You might want, you know, you might want a floral theme. See? See how one little element changes it, but one element can give you a start? Oh, how to alter books. No, you're saving them from the landfill, Dorothy. You're saving them from the landfill. I'm just picking up things randomly just to kind of show you, you know, how you can play with different things. See, I really like that right there. I think I'm going to go for that. But I don't want to do it right now because I'm using, this is my sample. It's my sample moon. Do I have another moon here? Yeah. I need a sample to move things around with. Okay. I kind of like this one because the light coming this way. Let's see. Might glue this one down. I'm using up my samples faster than I can. Okay, so, whoops, that's the paint. Let's go into the matte medium. So, we have this little moon here. And where's my card? Just scrape it down. Whoops. Okay, let's dry it. This is like a steam, yeah, it was like a steampunk page, yeah. As a writer, you would think it bugs me, but I love altered books. I don't either. But again, some people, they, you know, then this is not the project for you. That's how I look at it. So these kind of look like little faucets. I'm not sure if that's what they were. Let me just see if I can remove a little of that paint there. It looks like kind of little faucets. So I think what I'll do, let's get a brush. I think I will make this. Maybe it's coming off the moon like this, splashing down to this little basin. And then from the little basin, it's going into the little faucets. Same thing over here, it needs a little bit more. Could see Tarsus in that thing. And I mean, this would actually work in here somewhere too, but I'm trying to use that one for my little sample thing. Let me dry it. But you can't be afraid, guys. If you get an idea and think, oh, I wonder what that would look like if I did that. Well, do it. You know, just do it. Don't. It's usually fear that people that say, I don't have an imagination. Usually it's fear from having them stop, try it. Maybe this will come all the way down here and we'll have a little puddle down here. That's usually what I found. Everyone has an imagination. Okay, let me dry it again. Okay, so I'm going to move on to another page, but you can see, yeah, the matte medium will give it, like, you know, get rid of the shine and give it tooth for your pencil. All right, so I'm going to keep flipping here, paint it out on the sides and around here. Again, you know, I glued my girl down. I need another girl. The only other thing I have here is my angel. I have a girl. Let's see. Let me find a girl. Let's see if I can find a girl real quick. Hang on. I have one fashion magazine and it's in another room somewhere. I'm trying to find something here to use. I don't put many people in my scenes. Just a second, guys, I'm digging. All right, I'm gonna have to go in the other room because I can't find the person. Hang on. I have one old Vogue magazine. Well, it's not that old, but I use them up, then throw them away and get a new one that usually lasts me about a year. Because when I look at my scenes, it's like you are the person, you know, rather than having people in there. Let me just find here. This one will do for now. I just want an example. Not really crazy about this particular image, but it's the idea I'm trying to get across here. So let me just kind of cut her out real quick. It's just the idea. So if you want people in your images, I used the one that I had cut out this morning. I used it already. So for instance, there we go. I mean, there's just so much you can do. You know, this could be here, this could be here. And if you don't know what to do, put a bird on it. Okay, so this one, the clouds have been painted over the top of the old ship. Again, you know. There. It could be, where's my house? You know, could just cover up that whole bit right there if you wanted to. See? Hot air balloon. Paint a whole circle out of there. Put the Alamo. Again, this has all been painted out. Just so you can kind of get an idea. You know, you can continuously add tons and tons of stuff. It doesn't have to just be a couple things, or it can be just a couple things. I'm just kind of flipping through here, guys, just showing you all different kinds of, here's another bit of, this could be a mirage. You could put this in here and feather it all out. I'm just grabbing stuff. I didn't cut out a whole lot here. See? It just changes. And that's the thing. You know, put all different things in here to test it out. Now you have like an alien landscape, right? Just with that. See? Sure, I'm going to remember that. Oh, Alamo. I'm trying to just give y'all all kinds of, again, with the same elements that we just got right here, right? Okay, so this, I painted out the sky and put one little star. But, you know, you can do so much. Where's my moon? And oh, remember, you can always put a bird on it. It's a door. Here all I've done is add some wispy, like the wind kind of thing coming through here. Could paint out the window. You know, all kinds of worlds could be in there. Or it could be here in these reflections. The reflections here could be a different color, like blue. Let's do that. Let's stop and do that. Okay, so I'm going to take some baby blue. Let's just see here. Where's a kind of medium brush? This might be a little big, but we'll see. Have you seen a similar book called Beauty in Decay? No, I haven't, Dorothy. Is it kind of the same thing? Again, this one kind of comes across the spine right there. But I mean, you can make fairy tale worlds, have a garden book with all kinds of fairy tales. If you don't know what to do, get you a kid around you and just paint something out. Start with the painted out page and say, what do you see in here? What does this look like to you? And then whatever they say, well, oh, it looks like a dinosaur could live in there. Then find a dinosaur, cut it out, and start making a world with your kids or your grandkids. If you can't think of anything. My brush is a little rough along the edges here, but I'm still going to go for it because I have an idea what I want to do here. Can sharpen it up with a pencil. So, get a little edge here. All right, so now let me dry this. Yeah, exactly. Your nieces, nephews. I'm telling you, if you can't think of something, they will. Okay, so a couple things. Now I want to get a blue. Do I have a, let's see how dark this is. Oops, I got it wet. Okay, I need a lighter blue anyway. Let's see here. This may be too light. Let's see. I just want to kind of sharpen those edges right along here. All right, so now what I want to do, hey Yuli, it's been a while, good to see you. So now what I'm going to do is take, let me get a different brush. These might all be too big. That one's too big. This one's too, oh, this one will work. So now I'm just going to get a little bit of white paint here. What I want to do is I want to make it look like you can see clouds in here. Okay, so let's do a little bit of blending. I kind of want to make sure that it looks like it goes straight across, but I don't want anything in between. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and put some on there, and then I'll take my baby wipe and wipe out in between. Because remember, it's coated with matte medium, so you can do this. Then what I think I'll do is wipe that off. So I'll put some birds in there. Let's do some little birds. Let's get a little pen. Let me dry that first. I don't ruin my pen. Oh, well, good to have you, Yuli. I think Yuli is, are you in Bali or Malaysia, Yuli? I can't remember. All right, so now what I want to do is just put a little, and you could actually cut out some little birds if you wanted to. Tiny little things. I just want to give you the idea here. My nephew had a skill for Lego building and was super particular about his Crayola crayon tips. Yeah. Okay, and you could add more. Okay, so I kind of get the idea, right? Okay, let me dry it. We're going to go on to another page. Thanks, guys. You want to make sure it's dry because, you know, you change the page and you're going to have them stick. All right, so here's another one that's just been painted out here again, you know. Lots of options, lots of options. Or you can always just put a bird on it. Sorry, guys, I can't resist. Just play with everything. Just move it around, play with it, and just put a bird on. Again, this one's going to be this one's going to be one like above ground. This is going to be underground. So it was 4 separate pictures, but I'm going to turn it into like, this is the landscape line here, and it's going to be, you know, one world here, and then down here will be underground. I like that right there. An atlas is a good book. Yeah, but we're talking about using the pictures. Atlases are nice for a map, but they don't have pictures. We're trying to use pictures. Okay. Where's my moon? Yes. Down here. And then again, this is where we did this one earlier. We added this, the little window, and another little more here. And this could also have like, almost have a, let's see if I'm gonna like this. When it dries, I'd put some orange on there. Almost like it's rolling in or rolling out. You're welcome, Pat. Let me dry this. Couple more minutes, guys, and we're going to give away the Somerset Studio. Okay, so here we go. Again, I'm just picking up, I just have these few things that I cut out earlier. You know, few things I cut out earlier. See how the colors tie in together? Here's that girl that we used earlier. She just looked good in the chair, and we talked about using it for quotes or whatever. You can use your books for whatever. Too big, too much. But I think this one needs some, this could use some mist coming in the window. It's hard to get across that crevice sometimes without a brush. You have to sometimes get a brush to get in there. Needs a little bit more oomph. There we go, that's better. Where's our little angel? Doesn't really fit, but all right, let's keep moving. Okay, I think the rest of them are pretty much, now this one we worked on. We did do this one during Halloween. Could put those on the banisters like this. What else do we have here? Where's our little ship? Put water in there, make him like a little ship there, or you keep it kind of more, you know, mysterious. More mysterious if you want. I think you guys are getting the idea though, right? Okay, now the rest of them are more toward the back. Because remember, back to front, front to back, and some in the middle will keep your spine from warping. There's one started here. And you can use the colors in the image as your, if you don't, I don't know what color, use the colors that are started for you. See, then I went in here and I did all these little windows. I did some little, you know, essence of people. Started outlining these windows and putting more highlights in all those. Put my watch there. Did the watch hands. You know, we can have a planet out here. Could have part of a, you know, the moon could be, no, that's too big. Let's see. This could add a door right there instead of a watch. You know, could have been like that. You'll see how I have space going on down here. Need a yellow ochre. Need a little bit brighter. Almost better with paint, I think, because I want it nice and bright. I can put a little bit of it here. Love you showing us how you think through this. Oh, well, that's what, like I said, I'm all about showing y'all the ideas. That's what I try to do anyway. Not sure if I want it off the edge there. Maybe if I put like a light there. Do I want something a little bit more? No, it's too much. All right, so let me keep flipping here. Again, painted out the mountains, added paint in the mountains. In the sky here, there were some wires. I just painted out the wires. And I can always put a bird on it. Just play with all the little images that, you know, like I said, I don't have a lot here cut out. I only have a few things cut out here to pick from. But you cut out tons of stuff and then you can play with it and move things around. You know, move things around. Hey, Peggy Sue, it's the abandoned places. Okay, this one's I've painted all around. Remember though, you want to coat it with matte medium first, and I use golden matte medium to get rid of all the shine on the glossy pages. Okay. You want to get rid of the shine of the glossy pages if you want to add pencil and things on top of it. All right, so this is where we had decided we wanted the angel right here. So let me just do that real quick. Then we're going to go ahead and do our giveaway, guys. Where's my matte medium there? We had her picked out for right here earlier, but I was using her for other pages to give you examples. All right, let's dry it. Yeah, you got that cutout girl found a home. Yeah, she found a home on a chair. But I painted in the sky, painted in the moon, which really could use a little bit more work. I just kind of splashed it in there so you can kind of see. All right, let's see what else we got here. Painted this out, painted this out, painted some of the edges on here, nothing on here. This has just got some matte medium on it, but again, you know, see how it changes it? This was an old gas station. I got rid of everything so it looks like the roof is floating. See how just moving things around changes it? This one I showed how you can use your own painted in ideas. Like I just put a feather in there because the wave looked like it was turning into a feather. So I just went with it. And the ship, the only thing that's left is the ship. And very little of that. I painted in the water, painted in the sky, painted in the moon. Show me the angel. You got glued it up. Okay. That bird needs a home. Yeah, because we keep messing with that bird, right? Look, this one would probably be a good one for him to eventually find a home in. See, look at that. Wouldn't that work? Oh my goodness. We might end up putting them here later. Yeah, that's exactly right, Diane. That was the point. Okay. So you see how you can just move things around and make it work? I mean, just whatever you change it to. See how it changes everything? Put those in there. It's a little big. See how it changes everything just by switching things around? There's one more in here that I worked quite a bit on the other day. This one. So none of this was here, but all these little men here looking down. See, there was like a whole bunch of layers of building. I painted everything out black, put my own little worlds in the window, but look how they're looking down. So look what I did with them. See how they're looking down? Now I just painted my whole little scene in there. Let's get the flat. There we go. So yeah, this one, I took a while on this one. I was watching Janet's show when I was doing this. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this idea. I think we've shown everything else that I have started in here. It gives you an idea of how you can take a book, and it will fluff up. Look, see? This is why you need to go front to back, back to front, because the spine will start to warp if you don't. So you just need to find a book that's like your thing. Gardens, travel. A travel one would be awesome, especially if you have a place that you would like to visit or you have visited, you know. Okay, so before we go, guys, I'm going to go ahead and do the giveaway for the Somerset Studio magazine. And if you're watching on YouTube, I am going to be doing some more YouTube giveaways. And I do try to send out to those of you that comment quite regularly. I do try to send you out a little something, something every now and then. So thanks for all those nice comments. I am going to be working on doing that question and answer. I did the one video today just to kind of test it out, and we'll see how that goes. I did a question and answer from YouTubers. So if a YouTuber asks me a question within the, I'm going to try to get it to eventually be under those question and answer headers so that I'll know that you're asking me a question to demo something. Again, if you just ask, what kind of paint do I use? I'll just answer the question verbally. Type it in. But if it's a question like today, we did can you show using inexpensive or cheaper like watercolors, like Crayola watercolors and stuff like that in a color book? So we did a little demo. So that's what I want to try to do, is try to have that little question and answer segment so that I can answer those kind of questions or do little mini demos on those kind of questions. So we'll see how that goes. Did the first one today. Yes, we're not going to hurt cats. We're going to herd cats. Okay, so again, how it works. Wait till you see me type in the word go. When you see me type in the word go, put in a number between 1 and 100. One number only, the closest number without going over. That's just the easiest way to kind of corral the cats. One number only, closest without going over. Wait till I put in go, and then we'll bring up random.org. which I still have here. Let me get a fresh, okay, we'll generate a new number in just a minute. And international can play, and we're able to do a little bit extra giveaways because y'all can thank Sharon L. She sent Hupster some extra postage stamps and some money. So I'm trying to do as many in November as I can. We already gave away some of the Happy Mail packets, and so we're going to give away this now. Yeah, I know there's lag. When you see the numbers going flashing by, you know it's time to put in a number. Okay. And bam! So I'll give everybody a minute to put in a number, and then when I stop it, we'll do the random.org. I think y'all get the idea how it works after 6 years. After 6 years, I think y'all might got the hang of it now. Right? Terry, were you first? I didn't see. The numbers just flew by. Yeah, they just flew by. So I'll give everybody just another minute. Don't forget that Janet is Monkey Island Madness on Ustream. She'll be streaming from now on, hopefully. I think we've got her convinced to stream every Monday at 1 Eastern. It's like 12:30 now, so she has about 30 minutes to, gather everybody. And hopefully she'll stream every Monday at 1. Okay, so let's do a stop. Okay, so stop. Now we're going to go to random.org. Go over to the little window here. Let's generate a new number. Don't flash out on me. Hang on, let's unflash. There we go. All right, let's generate a number. Whoops. 31. The closest to 31 without going over. And the mods all go hunt it up for me. Let's make sure and get it right, because I only have one of these. I have lots of packs. If we mess up on the Happy Mail packs, I have more than I only got one of these. So y'all make sure to find the right person for me, guys, please. So there's about 5 or 6 mods. We got 6 mods here today. Thank you, Eileen, Carrie, Janet, Sherry, Terry, Vicky. Thanks, everybody. Iffy got 31 right on the nose. Okay, Iffy got 31 right on it. So Iffy, that's her nickname. She came in, yeah, that made it easy. She came in with the nickname Iffy. It was I Found You, Dee Dee, when she first came to our show. She's been here about a year now, haven't you, Iffy? So anyway, congratulations, Iffy. You're welcome. So, yeah, get that out to you. So thanks, everybody, for being here. I'm trying to do, like I said, Thanksgiving time in November, extra giveaways this month. You're back in business. Iffy. So thanks, everybody, for being here. And I hope y'all enjoyed playing in another version, another way of doing mixed media collaging and art journaling. And I'll hopefully be here Wednesday. I have more Happy Mail. If y'all remember Annie V. Annie V does not come to the stream. She's not on any social media. She and her husband are grandparents, retired, and she watches the show from afar. Well, she sent an awesome box of mail that I'll show on Wednesday. And so we'll do another giveaway on Wednesday, hopefully, and show some more Happy Mail and do some more sharing. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I hope y'all have a great afternoon. Go catch Janet. And don't forget, Jean comes on at 4. The musical scrapper Jean. And she comes on at 4. So you're welcome, guys. So y'all have a great afternoon, and I'll have to go eat before I get to Janet's, but yeah, I'll be there sometime. All right, guys. You want to put in your link, Janet, real quick? A direct link, because once I leave, I shut down links. So if you want to put your link in real quick, Janet, for those that may not know what it is, it's Monkey Island Madness. And again, at 4 is Musical Scrapper Jean. There you go. Grab it, guys. All right. See you later, guys. Bye. I just use Americana craft paint. Okay. All right. So, a couple different things about, let me show you some examples. So I have based out, I should say, I've matte medium some pages, and then some I have gone ahead and added some paint to them. So I will show you. So matte medium is used to prep your page. Yes, and to glue. Yes, in this case, Laura, I'm using it to prep the page, to get rid of the shine, of the page. And it's also what I glue all my collage down with in all my books. All the collage, mixed media collage, all the art cards. Let me grab one here. All the art cards you see me do, it's all glue with golden matte medium. And then the varnish that I use, if you want to have it glossy, again, everything glossy, because this is matte paint. So you're going to maybe use like some shiny images. Okay, you're going to use some shiny images, and you're going to use matte paint. So you're going to have some things shiny, some things matte. So this will make everything matte. And then if you like the shiny look at the end, like I showed you on my, let me show again on some of my, let me find one here. Here's one where it's all shiny. Okay, so I've glossed this, is the Delta Ceram Coat Gloss Exterior Interior Varnish. I have found as long as you do not close your book until it's dry, this will not stick your pages together. They do not stick. But that's the varnish I use. And this bottle's about $10. Again, it goes a long, long way. Probably about a size of a quarter on each of these with 1 squirt of water will cover this whole thing. Or a size of a dime will do one of my little postcards. It goes a long, long way. Use a coupon. Dee Dee, how did you apply the matte medium? The matte, you mean when I do on here, like just a flat area, I just brush it on. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, because I'm gluing as well. I'm also using it for my glue. The matte medium is not just making the page matte, but I'm also using it for the glue. And we're gonna do a demo here from start to finish, but I want to show you some of the pages where we're going to show. I'm going to give you an example. So I've gone through. All right. So for instance, this one you can see it's got a little. The light is making it a little shiny, but it's actually very matte, including the area where the image is. But you can see I have painted out first matte medium to make everything flat. Then I paint out different areas that I want to paint out. This one I use a little gel pen. I'm starting to progress on this one. Now, there's no pages in this book that I'm completely done with. I spent a few hours yesterday prepping this book. It looks a little bit milky when you put it on. I mean, when you pour it out, but it dries perfectly clear. Okay. So the other thing about the matte medium, when you have it on your image, just like when I'm doing my art cards, my collage, my mixed media, because it's coated with the matte medium is why. So, or your matte Mod Podge. And the reason I'm saying matte is because most of these books have a shine to them. They're shiny, they're glossy pages. Not all of them. And just like, doing the Flow magazine, half of the Flow magazine is matte pages, half the Flow magazine is glossy. So that's gonna depend on your book too. But I found that most books that have a lot of heavy photography in them have a gloss to them. So if you don't want half of your page looking matte and half glossy, because I am using matte, it's craft paint, it's matte though, it's not shiny. So if you're going to use that, you're going to either have to uh, wait till you're completely done with your page and have maybe matte paint over a shiny section. And if you want to gloss your whole page, because, that's what I do in these. That's what I do in my collage book, is after I finish them completely, I put a coat of gloss varnish over the whole thing. So it doesn't matter if I've got some matte images, some glossy images, whatever. I gloss the whole thing when I'm completely done, okay? And I may or may not do that in this book, varnish the pages. But I wanted to tell you, though, that when you're starting out, if you have some matte medium, then you can matte everything out. So it'll all be flat. Yeah, okay, and Suzanne said there's matte medium from Rowney, and you can get that in matte or gloss. The only thing I suggest is for you guys, if you are using any other products, I use the golden because I love my golden matte medium. But if you are using other products, nothing wrong with that. But make sure that that's not going to stick your pages together. Okay, make sure whatever varnish, whatever matte medium, whatever gloss, anything that you're using as either a glue or a sealer or a varnish is not going to glue your pages together. I know there's things you can do. You can baby powder them. You can, that wax that Shannon Green uses. There's all kinds of things you can do to prevent your pages from sticking. Way too much trouble for me. Just saying. It's just, I just go with my products that I know are not going to stick my pages together. But golden is not cheap. However, if you buy let me show you what it looks like. Here's a small jar here. If you buy your golden matte medium, like at Michael's, Hobby Lobby has the other brand, Liquitex, I think. Whereas I think Michael's, of course, all art supply stores, and you can buy it online, but it's just called golden matte medium. It's not gel, it's not heavy, it's not light, it's not liquid, it's just called matte medium. Because people go, there's so many golden products, which one is this? It's just called golden matte medium with no other there's no other wordage to it. Okay, and if you use a 40% off coupon or sometimes a 50% off at Michael's, you can get it even cheaper. That was the only way I bought it for a long, long, long time, is with a coupon. And anytime I had a haul video, I'd say, here's my weekly haul video. There was one jar of golden matte medium. So to me, this is my go-to product for gluing, collaging, that I just love my golden matte medium. But just for my collaging, for my mixed media, for my art journals, for my art cards, but starting out with a book. So y'all know that I have the Abandoned Places book that Bonnie sent. And, I've been cutting it up and using all different bits of this Abandoned Places book. Well, I liked it so much. I tried to find it at My Books A Million, and they didn't have it. Then they finally got some in. So I bought another one. All right, let's put this here. So I bought another one to alter. So we're going to call it kind of altered book collaging. So this is an Abandoned Places. So what I want y'all to do, if you want to play along with this type of thing, is find you a book on clearance, or if you have one in your house that you're not particularly fond of. And if you're a book lover, I'm a book lover. I have a library. I love my books. These are all on clearance. You know, they stack them out 10 or 20 at a time. I'm not sure exactly which landfill they'll go to if you don't buy them and use them, but I'm sure they'll end up somewhere like that. So if you want to, you know, if you got 20 of these sitting in your bookstore and they're selling them for a couple of dollars, I use them. I'll play with them. I'll cut them up. I'll alter them or whatever. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start. I want to continuously work in this book, just like I do the napkin journal, the mixed media collage book I just showed you, the different kinds of journals that we use, the magazine journals. So this is almost kind of like a cross between the magazine journal and the collage journal. So what we are doing is the same type of collage mixed media painting that we do in our Dilutions journals, but we're starting with a base already for us. So we're starting with a base already for us. So for instance, I'm going to show you a page where I haven't done anything to it. Let's see. Okay, let's just start let's just say this one. Okay, I'm going to show you some that I worked on this yesterday for a few hours while I was watching Janet's recordings. So what we're going to do is, what I would like you to do, it doesn't have to be an abandoned place. It can be any kind of images you are particularly fond of. And I would suggest, like for instance, if you love gardens, gardening, then I would suggest you finding a book that has lots of flowers and a base. You want to find a base theme that you're going to love, because if you don't love it, you're not going to stick with it. Not that you have to do the whole, don't feel pressured on yourself. I never do. I mean, I'll work a little in this book, a little in that book, and, just like my color books, I'll work a little bit in this color book, a little bit in that color book. Doesn't bother me at all. Some people, it bothers them that they have to start at the beginning and go through a whole project. That's fine too. Whatever works for you. Yes, and the local libraries have book sales too. Exactly, and the same thing. But I would recommend finding one that's heavily pictured, heavily has a lot of photography, a lot of imagery, because the more imagery you have to work with, the more your imagination can play with it. Okay, so in the other book that I showed you from a few years ago, I did not matte medium base the pages, but I found just, trying to think about how to show the book and how we can do some, samples and some demos on it. I found by doing a few different pages in this book that it is best, if you can't afford golden matte medium, if you want to use your, maybe you have some clear matte you can blend out your paint so easily. Now, in this book is going to be just a little different, maybe not all pages, but I want to try to do some different things in this book than my just plain old mixed media collage. So let me pull this up again and show you. So let's find one here. Get to a finished page. So on this, you're starting with a blank slate, a blank canvas. There's just a blank, it's just a blank journal that we add collage to, then we add the paint to, then we blend it with, but the reason we can blend this so easily, like I can blend it with my finger, I can blend it with a baby wipe, and the paint just blends and flows, and you can do all kinds of things with the paint. It's because it's been coated with matte medium. If you try to put paint over, now again, if it's a slick image and the paint's still wet, you can wipe it pretty quick and get rid of it. But if you're putting any kind of paint over anything that's non-shiny, which in your mixed media collage, you do that as well, it's not going to move. You have painted that bit and it's not going anywhere. So the matte medium is like a base that will help your paints move. I hope I'm explaining this well enough, and I try to explain it every time I do a collage. But the difference we're going to do from this to this book is we're going to use the images already in the book as a focal point or as part of the I call it reverse collage. because even though we will be adding things on top of it, we're starting with, whiting out. I say white, I just mean, getting rid of with paint, blacking out, graying out, bluing out. We are reversing the process. Instead of putting a bunch of images on top of a blank page, we're starting with images and reversing it and erasing those out. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to show you, I'm going to flip through here and show you a few pages where I've started, okay? Where I've started some of the pages. And then I'm going to also show you what we're going to, none of these are finished. This is just the base coat. This is just the initial reversing out of any text. Like there was text over here. I painted over the text and then painted in the extensions here, that kind of thing. And we're going to do that here again in just a minute. Same thing for here. There was text all in here. I painted over it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use this book for. I'm sorry it keeps wanting to flash out. We'll just have to keep working with it. I might have to, let me see if I can turn the light down because it got really bright outside. There we go, it's a little better. Got really bright outside, so it's flashing it out. So these are some of the pages that I've just started. Okay, now on this one, we did this a couple of weeks ago where I showed you when I was showing the other book, somebody asked how I did that. Well, and so I kind of did a little bit more on this one where I'm painting the clouds over the top of it. Okay, so we're going to do more. We're going to add little bits of collage to turn these into other worlds. So for instance, I painted out the sky. I painted out any buildings that were here. And then I painted in this and just left this bit right here. You can leave whatever you want, or you can get rid of as much as you want. It's totally up to you. Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning, Monday morning. Thanks everybody for being here. So I have sort of a new project. It's not really new, brand new, but I'm going to try to kind of mix it up and put a little bit more of a twist to it. All right, so y'all know that a few years ago we started, now this has been before I uploaded to YouTube. I've only been uploading to YouTube for 2 years and I've been streaming for 6. So this one was probably, I don't know, 4 years ago maybe? I'm not even sure exactly. But this is a book and it's just a, let me measure it because everybody always asks, what size is that book? It is 8 by 15, and what it was is just a book in clearance, a book in the clearance section. Bridgeton, good to see you. It was a book in the clearance section of the bookstore. They're new books, but they're in clearance. You can get them for a few dollars, a couple dollars. And this one was on cityscapes, and it was all different. Let me find some that don't have anything on it, like this. It has all kinds of cityscapes. Some are close up, some are far away, like this one. And what I call it reverse collage. Instead of adding things to it, although I do add things to it as well, and I will in the next project I'm getting ready to show you, it's painting out things. You're painting out things that you don't want, and then you can do whatever with what's left. So like here, for instance. And and this one I've opened and closed a lot. The paint's kind of cracked in the center. And I also did not, all right, I got to get something here to flash the light back. I also did not matte medium these, which I will be matte medium in the next example. But you can see, there we go. So you're actually painting out things. Like here's a big fountain. So you're painting out the text. You're painting out the background. It's kind of reversing your collage. Then I've added paint and other things too. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to figure out what I got to do with the camera here. The sun just came busting through the window and it's messing me up. So you can see. Sorry guys, it just totally flashed out. But this was a cityscape book. Let me find a more dramatic page. Where's a real, okay, here's one. See how I've blacked out all the text? And then you can do other things here. You can paint on it, write on it, add lettering. You can stamp on it, all kinds of things. So this was one that we did a few years ago. And then I just covered the outside with paint, scraped paint and bits of scrapbook paper. And then I put 2 or 3 coats of varnish on it. So, yeah. So you'll know that when I'm doing my collage in my, here, let me grab one of those. All right, hang on, where'd it go? Not this one, not this one. Where's my reason? Ah, here it is. So you'll know when I'm doing just like regular collage like this, in my, this one being my, one of my Dilutions journals, how I work on here. Now, you're starting from a blank page and adding collage bits and paint and all the, you know, collage-y bits. So what I'm trying to do though is the same type of thing here